so many of the women who wear one of my watches, they are also in the automotive space, and they are mechanics, and they are painting and wrenching and just doing all these fun things. And I'm just seeing what these women are doing, and I'm like, I want to do that. That looks amazing. Like, let's go do the Rebel Rally. Let's go do this. Let's go all trip out to, Sturgis.
Welcome to High Octane Hustle. I'm Fastlane Jane.
And I'm Design Muse.
And this is Abingdon Mullin. Oh my gosh, we're so excited that you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, and she's a pilot.
Yeah, she sure
Holy
is.
moly.
She's sure is.
A philanthropist. There I go again. A philanthropist. A philanthropist and female business owner. We love that about you.
Yes, she is. Now, a pilot. I don't want to just say that you're a pilot because you can't even just fly one plane. You fly about how many different types of planes?
So I could probably fly any plane that I step into, much like you could probably figure out how to drive any vehicle that you step into, right?
I like that.
But in logbooks, which is what's really important in flying, how many airplanes do I have logged? And I have 87.
I mean, not too many people can actually, as their pilots, they typically fly the same type of plane, right?
Most airline pilots average at least 5, or at most 5.
The difference between them, yeah.
Well, just what they trained in, and then what they did, like their advanced training in, what they got their first job in, and then their small jet, and then the big jet that they end up flying for the rest of their career. But the type of flying I do is I ferry airplanes. I deliver them. So I've flown everything from a tiny little fabric-covered, Piper J3 Cub to a Boeing 747.
And even some other things too, like commercial. Don't you do? I thought you had gone to like some other little areas too. Not just planes with people in them, like cargo planes.
Well, the 747 was a cargo plane.
Okay.
So it used to be a Korean Air passenger plane, but then some rich person out of Dubai wanted to buy it to move around his horses. So what you do is you rip out all the seats, and then you put in cargo pods and build stables in your airplane, because that's what you do.
Okay, that's probably what I was referring to.
Holy cow.
Love it.
Well, then this begs the question, how do you get to be such a badass?
Fake it till you make it, love. No, that really, it's weird in the ferry world, because so many people, when you think aviation, you think, okay, they learned in the military, then they went to the airlines, and that's like what aviation is. But neither of those things really jived with me. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to fly to all these exotic places, kind of be like Santa Claus, bringing people their new planes. And when I heard about ferry flying, I was like, oh, okay, let me go in and try and get in with this. But all the ferry companies, they're like, oh, you got to have thousands of hours and have to fly all these airplanes and this and that and the other. And I was like, I've got like 1,500 hours. Like, I'm pretty low time when it comes to that. And so nobody would hire me. So I just started telling people I was a ferry pilot. And the first job I got was flying a twin turboprop to Japan. So this would be over the ocean, or if you went up around Alaska and down. But I'd never flown a turboprop before, and I didn't know how to cross an ocean. So I said I was busy. I had some other airplane to take, and that was fine, because you don't want to burn the bridge. What I ended up doing as my next job offered was a single engine. It's called a Tomahawk, and it's a little trainer plane, and they wanted it flown down to Guadalajara. So that was the first ferry flight I did. I'd never flown a Tomahawk before, so I took it for a couple trips in the pattern around Torrance Airport, and then they just gave me the keys and said, all right, keep track of expenses, and we'll see you in 3 days. It is that slow of an airplane, so it took me about 3 days to get down there.
But you really did fake it till you make it. You just put that out there and
100%.
Love it. Love it.
And when you do your flight training, and this really should be within any training, whether you're learning how to scuba dive, whether you're learning how to race a car, you always have to stay within the minimums that you set for yourself. You don't want to necessarily exceed because, as we all know, safety is our number one, right? So even though I always joke and say safety third, but really it is safety first. And so my personal minimums and then what the airplane is capable are two separate things. The airplane might be completely capable of doing something that I'm not necessarily comfortable with. So that twin turboprop that I was first offered, not my bag at that point. But today, I can fly a twin turboprop in my sleep. I mean, I wouldn't be sleeping. We'd have an autopilot. But I could definitely handle a twin turboprop, no problem, now that I've been doing it, 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
Right?
I'm like, what?
Like she said, it's like us getting behind the wheels of cars, but completely different to us.
What inspired you to start flying?
Free food, obviously.
And
come on now.
Exotic places.
What inspired me to come onto this podcast? I mean, come on, you guys give popcorn and Skittles. It was totally free food. My high school, I went to high school in Burbank, John Burroughs.
Right.
And
that's right.
It was like the first Wednesday of every month, the Career Center would host career lunches, Career Wednesday lunch, and they would order pizza, Subway, whatever it was, and then bring in a couple people that did some job, and you never really cared what the job was. You always just went for the pizza. And at least that was my MO. And I was 14 years old. I was the only girl that came in to the event. I was early, so I see all these boys walking in, and I'm thinking, oh, construction or something stereotypically male. And then in walked two pilots, and they said two things that really changed the course for me. And the first was that you didn't have to learn how to fly in the military. That's not where all pilots come from.
Yeah.
There's university programs, there's vocational schools, there's all sorts of different avenues that you could do. And then after you know how to fly, you have a variety of, there's tons of jobs. I mean, we were at King of the Hammers, and you could be flying a helicopter,
Yep,
with
to
the
chase.
cameras
Yeah,
to chase all the
totally.
cars.
Yeah.
So you could do that. You could fly relief aid. You could fly celebrities. You could do banner towing. You could do, traffic watch in the morning and then be done by 10 a.m. every day. Like there's so many, or you could ferry airplanes like what I do. So there's so many other jobs that are in the aviation spectrum that people don't realize airplanes are involved, even firefighting. And I'm just talking about airplanes. What about helicopters? Then you have a whole other slew of things, medevac and emergency medical and all that kind of thing. So once they said those two things, 14 years old, I was hooked. I knew I wanted to be a pilot.
I love it. It's the same thing with automotive, though. Everyone thinks you're a mechanic or something, and there is just so much more to the automotive space and what there is out there and available. It's just that people don't know that. They just have to hear it, just like you did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm just... Mic drop.
So it was just lunch. It was free food.
It was free food, yeah.
She goes for the free food.
If you want to change people's lives, give them food.
I mean, that is a true statement, yes.
I love that. So you said you've been flying a Tomahawk for 7-8 years.
No. That first job, I flew a Tomahawk.
First job,
It
okay.
took 3 days.
Well, no. I mean,
did I hear you wrong?
Was it me? I didn't say it right. Okay. So how long have you been flying total?
2006.
Okay. See, that's where I was going for.
Okay.
Yeah, that was what I was going for. Not that you've kept flying that same Tomahawk because it's really slow.
No, I've moved on.
And then you flew in today to be part of the podcast with the exception that you didn't fly.
I know, and I should have.
Yeah.
That's the nice part. She gets free flying pretty much everywhere, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
That's
I mean,
good.
it's such a similar crossover, right? Like you guys get access to vehicles if you want to go
Totally.
to a race, if you want to bring one to SEMA, if you want to do a rally. Like there's vehicles at your disposal in aviation. It's just substitute the word car for plane. So I've got planes kind of at my disposal. Friends who have planes, they want to go up flying, they'll take me with.
At her disposal, and then instead of extra cars, she has an extra plane that she wants
Every
to
now and
fly.
then.
Yeah, and do most people's jaws drop when they find out that you're in aviation? And how many planes you've flown?
The planes thing is really the one that sticks with people.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, women who have their pilot certificate, and this is kind of a downer, but women who are in the U.S., 6% of the pilot certificates issued in the U.S. are for females. Of that 6%, I think it's around 75% are the student pilot certificate. So only 25% of the 6 are actual certificated private, instrument, commercial, flight instructor, and airline pilot. That's dismal numbers.
Yeah.
Now, I'm at the airline pilot. I used to fly for the airlines, and that is, I think there's a total, I'll be totally wrong on this, but I know a couple women who could definitely spit out this number. I think it's only like 5,000 in the country.
Yeah.
So there's not many at all.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you have different conferences that you're a part of and stuff, so I mean, you know most of them probably.
I know a good chunk. Well, and because of the watch company that I started.
Yes.
That's how we started, and that's how we basically kind of met everybody.
Yeah, well,
from that.
and I think that's a good segue to go into that. Why did you need a watch?
All pilots need a good watch.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Once I got my private in 06, I went searching for a pilot's watch, and I wanted one that fit a 5'6" frame, 110 drip and wet, and most of the watches that are out there, they're gorgeous, stunning aviation pieces, but they're big and bulky, and I've got tiny wrists, and it was just looked like a grandfather clock hanging off my wrist. So with other women pilots, they're a group called the 99s, and it was started by Amelia Earhart in the 20s and 98 other women. That's how the name came about. You have to be a pilot in order to be in this group. So my local chapter outside of Santa Monica, we all just got together and started designing the first pilot's watch made for women by female pilots. And we launched the company in 2007. So now, today, I mean, we cater to women who are in the automotive industry. We sell on all the military exchanges. Macy's has us selling with them. And then we cater to even like the diving industry and all of the industries where women are minorities in, but we are not necessarily wanting to wear the men's products that are available. We still need products made for us. So I was part of a think tank in Vegas for astronauts. They wanted to start, there's a big push right now in aviation and aerospace to get more commercial travel into space. And
really?
And one of the big things is to have suits that fit all the different types of people that are going to be buying these tickets to go into space. Well, most of the women's suits are just the men's small or extra small. But a woman's body is shaped completely different.
Yeah.
And as the saying goes, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Well, when you're in a spaceship and you are on a mission that's going, we have some pretty challenging circumstances that an aircraft going into space, even if it's a commercial flight or if it's a mission, there's so many different things that you have to take into consideration that nothing can be weak. So if you're putting a female astronaut in a men's suit, that's a weak link. Yeah. So we're trying to shape all those, close up all those little gaps. And it's the same thing with a watch. It's the same thing with the boots we wear when we're going, hiking. All those different things that women are doing, we need to have products that are made for us.
Have them fit properly.
All the time.
For sure.
Yeah.
GTS Customs Corvette Specialists. Passion is the driving force behind every design, every build. Innovation taking the client's dream car places never thought possible. Not just seductive form, but flawless function, showcasing today's technology in yesterday's classic curves in luxury and in performance. Head over to highoctanehustle.com, shop the brands page, and check out GTS Customs Corvette Specialists.
Baja Forge. It isn't just the products, and it's not just a brand. It's a way of life. At an early age, traveling to Baja was one of my fondest memories. It was about venturing to unknown destinations. It was the freedom of exploration and really slowing down to enjoy the amazing world and the people we have in it. Baja Forge is about helping you embrace adventure. Baja Forged, signature vehicle builds and off-road products built to forge your own path. Visit bajaforged.com. abingdon.com today.
So I have to ask the very important question. Are you flying into space?
Heck yeah. So, 100%.
Commercial? Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh. That's the only rating I don't have. And I will say, my husband and I, we did sign up for the one-way mission to Mars. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't get picked, so it was really a bummer. But I
noticed.
will. I know, I'm still here. Yes, I will totally go. 100%.
Right?
Are you coming with?
Oh, heck yeah. If I can afford it.
I'll sneak you in.
Perfect.
Throw you in the trunk.
Perfect. I'm a good hitchhiker.
I'm going to have to pay.
How about you, Jane?
I'll need a first class
She'll
seat. And I understand that whole suit thing because
for
racing
sure.
is the same thing. And especially I don't know, 6'1.5". I understand. So I'll need extra legroom in my space
custom make for
plane.
you.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine? That kind of like makes my tummy flip-flop a little bit, the
Going
idea
into
of going
space?
into space.
Ooh,
I know.
I would
I
be
know.
excited.
I'm
It
in.
kind of makes me flip-flop a
gosh.
little. I mean, it
I
doesn't mean
love
that I'm
stuff.
not going to go.
We'll bring her back a
Never.
keychain.
No, I'm never going to miss a good
keychain.
time. I'm just being honest here, guys.
I'll bring you back like an asteroid or something.
I'm being vulnerable. An asteroid. Who knows?
I don't know.
Just bring me back a comet.
Okay.
I love it. A little stardust. Oh my
Ooh,
gosh.
I like that.
So, but let's talk about the watch. What's the name of the company?
Abingdon. The Abingdon Company.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Show us your powers out there.
Oh my goodness.
I know, I always
she,
work too.
she double fists.
You know?
Double wrists.
Oh my goodness. Again,
My apologies.
not that kind of
It's not that kind of show.
She's not drinking. I'm going to try and save that.
Do you want
water
it
today.
edited?
Holy
Double
mackerel.
wrists. Got it.
Double wrists.
It's like Wonder Woman. That's
Yes,
what I meant.
That's
not
exactly what she meant. But I know that there were a couple of celebratory instances that you shared with me on our car ride over here.
Yes.
Tell us, tell them.
All the watches are named women's names. So I have Jackie on one wrist, Marina on the other. But they are not necessarily named for anybody in particular, except for this year. We started a new collection called the Legends Collection, and it is in honor of some of the women in our histories who have just paved the way for what we're doing today. So the first legend that we came out with is for the WASPs, the Women Air Force Service Pilots from World War II. They were not even recognized as veterans until 1977.
Wow.
So we made 1,102 of them in honor of the 1,102 WASP who went through the program. And I just flew in from Salt Lake City because one of them, Nell Bright, just celebrated her 102nd birthday.
Oh gosh.
Holy moly.
And
so cool.
Her birthday present was a
Awesome.
watch. So
Yeah.
I gifted her a watch. And it was probably one of the highlights of my career with my company. So
Awesome.
yeah, that was really special.
That is great.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me, how do you name? Because you also have in the legends.
I don't have any other legends yet.
No, were you thinking about an Amelia?
Well, we have an Amelia
Oh,
watch.
okay, and that's
Yes.
in honor
We
of-
also have a Jane watch.
Why, yes, we do.
We do
and
not
it's-
have a
I
Theresa
like the
watch.
we do.
and
Yes,
it's
we
got
do.
and it's got a red face, just like my little red car.
It
So,
does.
yeah,
Yes, it
yeah,
matches.
yeah.
Now, the Amelia watch was not named after
Okay.
Amelia Earhart. But the next legend I'd like to bring in either from the automotive industry. I think Jessie Combs would be a very worthy legend for this series. I'd also like to honor Sylvia Earle from the dive industry. And there's just a few women that are kind of like on my radar who have really just kind of, they've set the pace for us, and we're doing what we're doing because of them. So I'd love to honor them with that.
That's amazing. Holy moly.
I'm excited about it. I know.
I-
This has been an ongoing
yes,
conversation for a little while.
Yeah, we talked a bit about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been some good good fun conversations based on that. So yeah.
It's nice too because with the Legends collection, what I'm doing is I'm talking to the descendants or the families of these legends, and then what we're doing is a portion of the proceeds of each watch is going to where the family would want to go, or a nonprofit that meant a lot to them.
Yeah.
So, for example, with the WASP watch, there's a portion going back to the National World War II WASP Museum in Sweetwater, Texas, where
Holy
they all
cow.
trained.
Yeah.
So it's an all-around like win-win-win, right?
Totally.
Because when you think about these women in history, they're like, we always complain about how we get marginalized, or we get complained against, or we're treated differently or whatever. Imagine what they were going
did that,
through.
yeah,
like they were
for
completely.
sure.
So there's this crazy story that I just heard yesterday at the birthday party, that one of the sons of a WASP, she, after her service was completed, after they disbanded the WASP program in '44, she went to go buy a home using a VA loan. But because they didn't recognize the WASP as military,
Oh my gosh.
she was completely denied. They didn't recognize them
That's
until
horrible.
1977. So she could not buy any type of home for 30 plus years because she wasn't considered a veteran. And then for those that were flying, we're talking like P-51 Mustangs, B-25s, the Corsairs, like all these crazy, amazing World War II airplanes. Then they would take their resume and go to an airline or go to the mail or like try to go get a flying job. And they'd be looked at like, we don't hire liars.
Oh gosh.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like we don't know about this WASP program because it was a contracted program.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
it's interesting to think they were physically in the fight, but then in the fight with making these changes for us, right? That we hope to be able to do and inspire younger people coming up within motorsports or in aviation or, any number of
these
things.
fun things that we all do.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel. Well, it's amazing that you have the ability to make a statement, right? And to some degree on their behalf and other amazing women.
And what a beautiful daily reminder that it's a piece that you wear, that you see every day, that just tells the story of these people. And also reminds you of what you can do. It's a sense of just empowerment for myself when I wear this and I see what it symbolizes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah, because you're sharing a part of history that some people didn't even know about, you know?
Right.
I mean, like you're saying, it wasn't even relevant to other people at the time because they were being hidden or not talked about. But for us to even know about it now, I mean, none of us even knew that, there was a path paved doing that,
Right.
So.
Yeah.
And I mean, think about your relationship with Jessie and how many people you still meet today that don't know.
Oh yeah,
who she was,
all
what
the time.
she did,
all the time.
And I think
And she's literally the fastest woman on earth. Like you would think that would be something everyone would know or something, but yeah.
And so when
Totally agree.
my world is the watch world,
Yeah.
that doesn't always pay attention to the aviation world or the automotive world or any of those other industries, I now get to bring Jessie's story. I get to bring the WASP story to them and spread that message.
And that's what it is. I mean, for all of us, it's just it's sharing who we are. It's sharing our message. It's putting all of this out. And like you said, like the cross promotion of it, like going from aviation into automotive. I mean, we know you like cars too.
And we haven't even gotten to cars
There
yet.
is that tie-in, right? Exactly. But that's part of it. Part of it is us going across the board and just making it so everyone in every industry or just people in general, just breaking those stereotypes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's get into cars.
Let's get vroom vroom.
How did you get excited about cars? You have some good car guy stories too, but yeah.
Oh, geez, where do we start? Well, definitely not from my parents. I am the black sheep in the family in that I like all things with engines or with power tools, like all that kind of stuff. I'm the one with the workshop and nobody else has it. My first car is still my car. Which is a 2005 Mini Cooper supercharged convertible. It is before they changed to a turbocharger, so I do really enjoy that. I can almost put vintage plates on it, which I'm pretty excited about. Got about a year and a half for that, and I drive it every day. There's a funny story too, which kind of ties in aviation and automotive. I met Carol Shelby from Automotive.
This is the story.
Is this the one you were talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
So I met him through Alex Borla Exhaust.
Right.
Alex and I used to fly around Camarillo. And so we knew just each other from the aviation side. And when I was at Santa Monica one day, because I was working there and learning how to fly there, this was, like back in 2008, I saw for the first time a vehicle that struck me dead in the water. Like I had to stop, I had to get out of my vehicle, my truck, and I had to just stare and memorize every single part of this car because I didn't know what it was. And it was a Shelby Cobra 427. And it was absolutely stunning. You know, the white stripe, the racing stripes, the blue, the whole bit. And I looked, I was like, okay, the gas cap is right there. There's this here, there's that there, there's a snake there. Like I had to, because I couldn't figure out what this was, and I knew I had to go home and Google.
That's a good looking car.
Like everything. And it struck me dead. So I'm telling this story to Alex, and of course, Borla and Shelby were like solids. And he just like gets out his phone and calls up Carol and is like, hey, what are you doing? And we were at a big air show in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and Carol was like, oh, I'm going to be arriving tonight. What's going on? He's like, I have somebody for you to meet. And that's how I met Carol. So fast forward, I'm down in Long Beach. Carol, of course, has his whole operation also here in Southern California. And I think I had like sent him a message, or he called me, I forget what it was, but he's like, would you mind picking me up? I just got to get out of the office. We need to go get lunch or something. I was like, all right, sounds good. So I mean,
no big deal.
No
Carol
big deal,
Shelby
right?
just called her.
So if you've met Carol, then you know how like chill he is, like all the time. He's super chill,
I like that. If you've met
him.
Carol, I personally always
to me,
seen
sounds
old
so
films, and I'm thinking tall drink of water, hot blonde. Yeah, I know what. I know the stories.
So yeah, I know, right? So well, now he's at this point he's a little bit older, so he chilled out. But I pick him up in the Mini. I've got the top down because it's a gorgeous summer day. We go to his favorite like Chinese hole-in-the-wall place. We grab some lunch, and he's kind of like, yeah, I just needed to step away. And I was like, yeah, no problem. I could have taken a break from whatever I was doing to come have lunch with you. Absolutely.
Right.
And he's like, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And so as I'm driving him back to work, he and I were stopped at this stoplight, and I don't know how I did this, but he's telling me some story, just like super relaxed and everything. And my Mini is a 6-speed, so I just stall it. Completely stall it, rolling up to this red light, and I was just like, I just stalled with Carol Shelby in my car, and he just kind of looked at me like, we're not gonna. And I just kind of looked at him. And I just turned it back. And we didn't say anything about it. He never brought it up. He never brought it up.
That's a good man.
That's a good man. That's a good man. But yeah, so I have the wonderful pleasure of bragging that I stalled with Carol in my car. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good story, right?
Yeah.
Well, and I think what is it? Obviously, he remembered it. I'm sure of that. I'm sure he remembered.
Yeah.
See, and you want to be memorable wherever you go. It's very important.
Usually for other things, though. But
It was Carol Shelby. Who cares, right?
no,
I think that's awesome.
yeah, he was
oh
a class
my
act.
goodness.
Class act about it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So yes, you like cars very much.
Yeah, I do race my Mini from time to time. I break it. I spend a lot of money on it, and then I race it again, and I break it. And much like you break your Bronco.
Yeah.
And
And you help me fix it.
And I help you fix it, and we paint it. It's great. And also because of like the customers, the crew, we call them crew members. If you wear an Abingdon watch, you're part of the crew. So many of the women who wear one of my watches they are also in the automotive space, and they are mechanics, and they are painting and wrenching and just doing all these fun things. And so we follow all of our customers all our crew members on the social media channels, and I'm just seeing what these women are doing, and I'm like, I want to do that. That looks amazing. Like, let's go do the Rebel Rally. Let's go do this. Let's go all trip out to, Sturgis. And so one of my big things that I'm kind of announcing for the first time here on this podcast is that we're going to be doing.
We have the exclusive.
I do have the exclusive. I have not told anybody. Like, there's been a lot of conversations about this, but just over phones. So phones and emails. So we're going to be hosting a major event in Las Vegas in November on the Strip at a certain turn. Big party. A lot of details are going to be ironed out, so just stay tuned for the details, but it will be massive. So
is that all we're saying?
That's kind of, I don't know how many more details I can get into.
Does it coincide with anything?
It does coincide.
We don't want to talk about when or anything else.
Well, it's in November, and it's on the Strip.
Okay. There's a lot of important things that happen in Vegas.
There are.
Yeah.
There are.
It will be after SEMA, before Christmas.
There are.
I like that. After SEMA, before Christmas.
So we're being discreet. This is the big announcement,
right?
That's discreet.
That if they listen to your podcast, they better know what we're talking about, or else they shouldn't be listening.
Okay. Well, I mean, there are different things that happen right about then.
Right.
On November 18th?
We're getting specific. I like it.
Now, is this a one-day event, or is it?
The main event is on the 18th.
Okay.
It's like a horrible game of charades.
It is.
Did you figure it out yet?
New to Vegas.
Sister, we already know, but we're just curious.
Yeah.
Hey, they can put
It has been lots of phone calls about this.
Yeah, they can put their guests in the comments on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, I like that.
Online, yeah.
What do you guys think is happening?
Yeah.
That's what I love it. I'm excited.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be
Yeah.
Well, it's a
Well, see,
big deal.
I thought you were going to announce that you're riding to Sturgis with us.
I am riding to Sturgis with you. I know.
What I'm saying.
There was
I
that.
thought you were going to announce that.
I mean, that's big. That's what I'm announcing.
And when is Sturgis?
We are, August. We're going up there for the 8th and 9th, 7th, 8th, and 9th.
That's
Is
awesome.
when we're going to be,
That's a big deal.
It is.
Everybody goes there
Totally.
with their motorcycles.
So you want to know about the first time I went to Sturgis?
Tell me.
Oh, yeah, that's good. She's got, see, I know all these stories, too.
I need to
So,
know.
I'll
I
share them
need
with you
this
guys,
story.
too.
My first two-wheeler was a Honda Metropolitan 40cc. And I had this crappy old 1986 like Dodge Ram truck that I had as like a secondary car to the Mini. And I had been working in Minnesota for an aircraft company as a demo pilot, Cirrus Aircraft. I left them in August and went out to Oregon to work for another company called Lance Air, experimental aircraft company, and I was going to do sales for them. So I have to cross-country all my stuff from Minnesota to Oregon in August. And I put my little 50cc scoot in the back of my truck and have him fly my brother out. He just graduated high school, and put him in the second seat of my truck in the passenger seat, and we just road trip it out to Oregon. And we roll in on Sturgis. We had no idea what was going on.
That's right.
And it was like, what is happening? And of course, everybody has descended upon. And we're at this stoplight, and these women with like assless chaps walk across the street, and my 17-year-old brother is like, oh my God. And I'm just like, I've got this crappy truck with this 40cc, 50cc scooter in the back of it. They probably think I brought this up to Sturgis. It was so ridiculous.
So did you stop, park, hop out,
We did.
get the 50cc? What did you call it? A Honda Experiment?
Honda.
I don't know.
Honda Metropolitan.
Metropolitan.
It looks like a little Vespa, but it's like
Yes.
way underpowered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta like bend down.
You didn't
to
hop out,
get it to go
pull that
fast.
out, and
Yeah, no, start doing
Go up
wheelies.
go up Main Street.
But she will this time.
Oh yes, she will.
I need to find
Yes,
another
she
Honda
will.
Metropolitan, but yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
In fact,
my
isn't that what
gosh.
we're going to be road tripping up in?
You won't keep up with me. Sorry, I'm not going to wait. It's going to take way too long. It's like you're a 3-day Tomahawk ride or whatever. No.
3-day Tomahawk.
No.
It'll be your 3-day Tomahawk ride. She'll be there in no time flat.
Sorry.
Fair.
Teresa
Fair.
will wait for no one. Sister is fast. Man, she learned I can't
From
say
the
she
fastest
learned
woman
from
on
the
earth,
fast-
yes.
yes. It's like keep up or
That's it. Just
oh
keep
well.
up. Yep.
So, yeah. Holy cow. Well, that'll be fun. So that's exciting. You've got a couple of exciting things that you're working on that are kind of not entirely under, cover to Sturgis, but then sort of undercover over here.
I'm going to be speaking at SEMA this year as well.
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
So, thank
That's
you.
that is
gonna
a
be
high
blast.
honor.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
What
Topic.
well,
Oh.
that's right. We were talking about
Yeah.
different topics and I know where were we at the Bronco?
We were at King of the Hammers, I think,
Yeah,
right?
we were
Was
at
it-
my
It was it was Desert Ranch
Baja Forge Desert
Desert
Ranch,
Ranch
Roundup.
Roundup. Yes.
The three of us ladies were in the Bronco. I was driving and we were just brainstorming about some of these ideas and stuff. Yeah.
So my topic is about how to expand into other industries and to draw similarities between, because if you want to grow in business, you can't just keep knocking on the same door all the
Right.
time.
Yep.
And so how do you successfully go knock on other doors using what you know from one, and how can you translate your message that you have in one industry to others? So for anybody that has a business that wants to grow their business or reach a new audience, I'm going to be talking about the best practices that has worked for my company over the last 15 years.
Love it.
That's amazing because, like you were saying, you were branching out into motorsports, diving, and all sorts of different arenas. I think
Yeah.
that's powerful.
Well, and I think that's a good segue to go into how we met and how you started going to SEMA, and then how we met too, because she's a great storyteller.
I know. I like this
How
story.
many obscenities are we allowed to say on the podcast?
Oh, you could say
3.
Can I say that one?
She has 0,
Yeah,
so she
I
has
think
3 to
you
go.
have to say it to get it across, but he can bleep it out.
Okay, fair enough. All right, there's a key. All right. So I've been going to SEMA forever and a day, just because, one, it's in my backyard. We're in Vegas, so I've always loved the show. 2, it's right around my birthday, November 3rd, so that's always fun. It's like a birthday treat. Alex Borla, when he was alive, he would always have me as like a guest and introduce me to really fun people, and the after parties are great, and, all those different things that is SEMA
Gotta
week.
love automotive, huh?
It's
Yeah.
so fun.
It's good, right?
It's super fun.
Dude, they know how to party.
They do.
Yeah.
I haven't figured out yet if pilots, divers, or the auto industry can party harder, but everybody does it on like a different level. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty heavy.
Well, it makes
So-
sense to hit all 3. Why stop with just one?
So I'm going to SEMA, and I really want to get involved with SBN. I am an SBN member, and they always have the Gear Up Girl event.
Right.
And you're in this long line to get through the doors.
So many people.
And there's so many people. And I'm at the end of the line, and up runs you, Theresa, huffing and puffing, and you're just like,
At
have they
SEMA?
started it yet? And I'm like, who are you? And this was 3 years ago or something? So when did you win?
Oh gosh, 2020? No, not 20. The
21.
next year, 21.
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, so 2 years ago.
So, so she's behind me, just catching her breath. She's like, "Have they started? They opened the doors?" And I'm like, "I think so. This is the line. I don't know. It seems like they're letting people in." She's like, "Okay, fine." And so we're just chatting a little bit, but the line starts to move. So we're both heading in there, and I don't really know that many people at SEMA, and so I'm just like, "Hey, let's go grab that table, and we'll just figure this out." And of course, I didn't realize you know everybody at SEMA, and why you wanted to hang out with me, I have no idea.
There's that hashtag she is SEMA.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Not necessarily
All three of
used in that particular thing, but
But yeah,
Both
so
of
we
us.
find this like high table up at the top towards the stage, and then what they do is they end up having all of these young women, these young girls, university and students and things, do
Garrett
the
Girl,
scavenger
yeah,
hunt.
it's fun.
And the scavenger hunt, they've got to find a painter, they've got to find a mechanic, they've got to find an executive, a marketer, they've got to find all these different careers in the automotive space. And so with you and I, like we started learning about each other because these students would
Coming up
be
and
like,
asking
are
us,
you
yeah.
a painter?
Yeah,
Or are you
yeah.
what do you do?
Yeah.
And then we would tell what we did to these kids. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And she was like, wow, you're pretty cool. And so we're learning about each other through these questions. But then,
Dun, dun, dun. No and then.
scavenger hunt ends, and now they're about to give out the awards. And then all of a sudden, her family is all there, and I'm like, I say to your mom, who is like a legend in the automotive industry, oh, do you come to SEMA a lot? Like, I mean, it's like you're just asking these people that have just made careers in the automotive industry because your entire family is, and they were like, well, yeah, we do. Like, who the hell are you? You know, type of thing. And what the person on stage
I mean,
is
it sounds
doing,
like it, but I'm just kidding.
the reason why her family was all there was because she was being awarded the SEMA Businesswoman
Woman
of the Year. And so she gets this gorgeous award, and she's getting, you know, all the news and the paparazzi, and everybody's taking photos, and everybody wants to go up to her and congratulate her. And I'm just like, how did this happen? So she's completely being swarmed and getting photos left and right and pulled all over the place. And I finally like caught her ear for, I don't know, like 3 seconds or something. She kind of looks at me and I was like, damn, I fucked up and met the right person. That's how we met.
She tells me that I just started.
So,
But you said your friend says that. He has
he
that.
says that
he
all
has
the time.
that
That's
phrase.
his saying. I can't
Yes,
lay claim to
yes.
it, but yeah.
That
he,
you know.
We'll get his
Because that's
name.
how that's
Give
how
him
she kind of
props.
came into it. She was like, you know, my friend, he tells me this thing, and you know, I guess it really applies right now.
You're like, what did he say? Fucked up and met the right person. So.
Okay, 2 down, only 1 to go.
That's right.
So now she's part of the crew.
Oh my God, I love it. That's
But I mean, the
amazing.
automotive space, it's pretty freaking rad. It's just
Yeah.
great space.
Absolutely.
Great space. Now
It's
you,
contagious.
it is. Is this
done
what's
with
happening?
I'm done with it.
Race. It's the R's. I don't know why.
I think it's the oxytocin
It's a great space.
flowing through our bodies. Something, I don't know. Because it's fun.
Yeah. It's just a fun story because we always talk about that too because yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, it is. It's like, I think, and Jane knows that, SEMA and the automotive industry, it's like an extension of our family. You
Yeah,
know? I mean,
totally.
you guys behind the camera back here too, right?
Yeah.
Totally get it. It's
Yeah.
just, it's part of that. It's like you feel it, you know, you kind of know how it is. So even you coming into that, and I think that's kind of, you know, a take on what you're going to talk about as well. Because I mean, it's just, some people are afraid to go into a new space like this.
Sure.
You know, and I mean, yes, you were invited in because you had other people that were, but I mean, they didn't tell you to go to SBN or to get more involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the first time I went to an SBN event, I was literally there on my own.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
But the thing is if you have your comfort zone here, how do you step out of your comfort zone and make that bigger? You have to step out of your comfort zone.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the only way it gets bigger.
Yep.
So yeah, I am always about, I mean, one of my favorite sayings is, you know, the world is a playground, and why spend all your time on the swings when you've got the jungle gym and the monkey bars and slides and everything else? So it's the same deal. Like when I talk to people in the automotive industry about cars, I can substitute and have that exact same conversation or something very similar in the other industries that I participate in.
Yeah.
And it's just as familial, like it's very family
Yeah.
in those industries too. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, and I think that's another good segue into the YouTube channel that you do as well, and kind of all of the different females you kind of hit on. So share
Yeah.
with us about that.
So that started as an extension of just what our brand lifestyle is at the Abingdon Company. And because we make watches for women who do more, that's our slogan, what we're doing on our YouTube channel is we're showcasing what they're doing. So everything from painting a Bronco to skydiving.
Yes, we painted a Bronco together.
We did, yeah.
And
she
then we
showed me how to
off-roaded.
paint. And broke it. It was awesome.
And broke it.
And I've base jumping off a camelback at Phoenix,
Yeah.
or scuba diving Lake Mead, and there's just so many different things that you can go see other women doing, and it's if you want to normalize women in these industries, just show them doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have them
100%.
be a
And
part
all
of
of us need to keep doing that.
Right.
All of us. Just keep showing it.
Right.
Totally. And what do you want them to see? You
Yeah,
know? What is it
absolutely.
that you want to show them? Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, I have the good fortune of having the most amazing crew members as customers, and these women that are setting records, that are breaking barriers, the very first sonic boom operator is one of my customers. One of my other customers got in a helicopter crash in Afghanistan, and she was a navigator for the Air Force. And about 3 years later, she wanted to do a retirement ceremony at Mount Kilimanjaro at the summit. And she
Wow.
invited me to go with her.
Wow.
So now I almost died. I got helicopter evacuated off, but
shoot.
she we both made it all the way to the top.
Yeah.
But that's where she did her retirement ceremony. And she was 50, and here I am in my
Wow.
30s, and I
Wow.
can't keep up, So it's,
Was it elevation?
I
that-
got pure altitude sickness.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
That's serious too.
I know, it was pretty
Yeah.
bad. I did see when they put the oximeter on me in the helicopter, it was a 42%. So yeah, that was
Wow.
pretty bad.
Will you go back?
100%, totally.
Good girl.
Absolutely,
Right on.
absolutely, yeah.
I think so. You're like, I'm training.
We recently had one of our friends, Tamara Robertson. She did MythBusters after Jessie.
Okay.
Was in her place, and she took Jessie's bandana up there because she just
That's cool.
Yeah, hiked it too.
That's really cool.
That's rad.
So we want to show that women are just doing all these really cool things.
100%.
It's really neat to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't, I think the other thing that we can all expand upon, especially the women that we engage with, is that it doesn't have to be Mount Kilimanjaro. It can be your version of it.
Oh no,
as long
exactly.
as it's,
And that's what
we're
she's
getting out there.
showcasing. That's
Yeah.
what we're showcasing. It's everyone. There's a space for all of us
Yeah.
to be in to show that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at any age, like you said, she
Yeah.
did this at 50.
Yeah.
Like,
really
what it
cool.
would be like to be 50 again. The heck?
I think it's really interesting for some of these industries that where women are minorities. Most of the behind the closed doors where the executive leadership of that company, the brands are discussing how to reach the female market. When they discuss how to reach their target audience, men typically, they have a variety of different messages. So the guys that do A versus the guys that do B versus the older guys versus the younger guys versus, the mechanics versus the drivers to whomever, they've already subcategorized all the men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yet for women, it's just women.
Yeah.
You ever notice that?
Interesting.
Yeah, that
well,
is
because
a
they're not
really
big enough.
excellent
Because
point.
it's not a large enough demographic that,
But it is a large enough
Yeah,
demographic.
you're right. It's not being showcased properly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the first thing they need to do is bring at least two. A lot of people say, at least have one woman on your team, on your executive team, or on your marketing team or something. I
Sure.
say two.
Yeah.
Because that woman should not be, she will only represent one facet.
Sure.
But you take two and you
Sure.
can bounce off more ideas.
Yeah, for sure.
So, when brands start really having the good conversations, that's when we're going to see some changes. So it's funny because with my company, a lot of people are like, "Oh, do you make men's watches?" I'm like, "Well, a watch doesn't have a gender.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
it's a man's watch if it's on a man's wrist. It's
Yeah.
a woman's watch if it has a woman's
Yeah.
wrist. But what I'm doing is I'm marketing to women.
Sure.
Because they're completely underrepresented in the watch world.
Yeah.
So my messaging will always be like, hey, you ladies, you can come into the watch game and have something that's made really high quality, sapphire crystals, good water resistance. It's not going to break when you wash your hands, all that kind of stuff. And you can go take it off-roading, you can take it flying, you could take it traveling. We've got all these different functions. It's not something that's just a piece of jewelry necessarily. It can also act as a tool for you. Because that message has been driven down men get that message in the watch world all day long.
Sure, yeah.
But nobody thinks to build tactical purpose-built watches for women and make it look beautiful. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think that addressing even clothing and shoes and all of these things that we can use and still look beautiful in our arena, because just because we're racers or we're pilots or we're painters or we're body shop owners or workers or something like that, it doesn't mean I don't like to dress up.
For sure.
And look and look attractive and feel attractive and have my nails done. I want all of it.
Yeah.
And your idea of feminine is going to be different than my
Sure.
idea of feminine.
Yep.
And
Yes.
different than yours.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
Yeah.
we try to make it so that it's an inclusive conversation.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
No, and what you touch on, so Real Deal Revolution, our nonprofit, it started out as, just all females, and we're marketing only to women and doing all of this, but then guys came in, and kids came in, and we're like, we're not going to tell them no.
Yeah.
So it was the same kind of thing. We're looking, as women in this space, we're looking to be inclusive, not exclusive.
Exactly.
But we're looking to showcase ourselves to put that out there. So then it changed from the instructors being all female,
Right.
and then teaching everyone, because that's really what changes that, is that we're looking for equality. We're not looking to be better or anything like that. And so
Or an isolated, right?
Correct. Yeah. And so same thing, like you said, well, I'm just making a watch that's tailored differently. My market is different, but you can wear it if you want. If you like it, I have no problem with you wearing it,
Most of the watch companies out there, when they start thinking, oh, let's make a woman's watch, they prescribe to this archaic idea of pink it and shrink it, right?
Yeah.
Let's make it
pink
pink,
it
make
and
small.
shrink it.
Totally.
That was good. I haven't heard that one.
So,
That's awesome.
and what you see by that as a female, when you're looking at that, you're like, wow,
Yeah.
okay, I was an afterthought. That was
Sure.
not
Right.
made
Yeah.
with
I'm sorry,
me
has this
in
evolved or
mind.
no?
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're making them the forethought. That's what we're
Okay.
doing when we design the styles. But I mean, this style right here, 40 millimeter titanium automatic, all day long on a man's watch. Like that's, and it comes not just in the pretty green that I'm wearing, but in black and white and blues. And there are more masculine styles, as well as very blinged out with the whole crystals and diamonds and pearl and everything else.
Yeah.
So you have quite a variety, but it's always women are the forethought with
Right.
us.
I love that. And I think that we do research all the time with, our own podcast and reaching our demographic. And we started this whole thing because we wanted to showcase badass women, right? But then along the way, we love men.
Yeah.
So
no, there's great guys.
but-
I mean, we have great male mentors, and it's part of the space for us to share all of that too.
Yeah.
But in doing that research too, I think that we had an opportunity to see, oh yeah, women are making most of the financial decisions after a certain age. And so if our companies aren't thinking, hey, who's actually in charge of the purse strings type of thing. And I don't mean that to be, I don't know, sassy or
As a business, though, you have to think
disrespectful.
about that.
It's
Yeah.
the truth, though.
A business definitely needs to
Yeah.
So and sometimes referred to as the dollar dems because that's what we offer. We're making the purchase. More women are watching, sports and it's all data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie.
No, they don't.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just like anything. It's just a matter of us bringing it to the space. It's
Yes.
a matter of us putting it in front of people so that it's not unknown anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like people knowing about WASP, because
Right.
they didn't before.
Right.
So
Right.
you're sharing that, all of it is just all of us sharing stories like we're doing.
Yeah, I love
in
it.
different ways, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
In all of our communities.
So you also have a philanthropic side, right?
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about that. Share with that passion.
So Abingdon Company is the for-profit, and then Abingdon Foundation, which was launched on the 10-year anniversary of the watch company, is our not-for-profit. We are a 501c3 registered in Nevada, and what we do, our mission is to bring more women into non-traditional fields, mostly spanning STEAM. So science, tech, engineering, arts, and mathematics. We include the
Okay.
arts with STEM. And we're doing that in two different ways. One, I call it walking the walk and talking the talk. So with walking the walk, what we're doing is we are giving scholarships or sponsorships, if you will. It's more of a sponsorship than a scholarship. Scholarship, you hand somebody a check. Sponsorship, you fly them out, you bring them to SEMA, to CES, to Women in Aviation, to Women in Technology, one of these STEAM-oriented shows, and then you put them up airfare, hotel, registration, and introduce them to the entire industry. Help them build their Rolodex, help them figure out their place in the industry that they want, and so we do that. And then the other thing with the talk portion is there's kind of two facets to that. We have these books on Amazon called Brilliant Books. So if you look up Abingdon Brilliant Book on Amazon, it's $9.99, and they're activity books for kids. So on the front, there's a picture of a girl. If she's got pigtails, 10 years and below is the age group for that book. If she's got a bun, 10 years and above. And these books are on space, they're on tech, they're on skilled trades, they're on all these different things, but it's puzzles and games and little activities for girls to see, well, boys and girls, they could be for anybody.
Yeah.
But what you're seeing in there, much like with what Real Deal Revolution does, where the instructors are female, so they always see that, is all the pictures in the books are girls. So, playing with computers or doing whatever they're doing.
Normalizing it, right?
Normalizing it, exactly. So we sell those, and that funds our scholarship program. And then we also are talking to schools and on the career days and sharing. So I'll get in my pilot's uniform. The last one I did a couple months ago was with Captain Kate McHugh, if you know her on TikTok. And she was in her ship captain uniform. I was in my airline captain uniform. And we were like the two captains walking down this middle school hallway.
Nice.
And we would talk to the kids and then tell them about like what our jobs were. So it's a lot of fun to do that. I love talking to classrooms. It's one of my favorites.
That's amazing. I volunteered, not at that level, but at my kids' schools when they were in elementary and junior high school. And man, it is really rewarding just to see the lights go on for them and
100%.
in different ways. And
questions
I
they
love
ask.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It's
is
the time
so
to do it.
cool. That is so cool.
So, and we'll talk at high schools, middle schools, elementary, like anything where we're in our uniform, in our coveralls, like in whatever it is that we do, we just want to show kids that girls do this, women do this.
Yep.
That's
So
amazing.
between the sponsorships, the books, and then talking to the schools, the foundation is just, we're really trying to kind of reset the brain for people and show them what could.
So, and you said you were in the Las Vegas area. Is this a traveling opportunity? Do you come to states like California, school districts there? Is that something that you will be branching out into? Because it sounds like a fantastic program.
So I mainly do everything in Clark County.
Okay.
And those of us that are volunteers or just people that are part of the foundation or winners and things like that, we kind of all work within the realm that we're living. So most of our board is national. And so we've got, one of our main board members, she's in Chicago. She'll do it in the Chicago area. We have another in Houston, so she'll take care of the Houston area. And so it's kind of dependent on where we are all living. We'll kind of take care of that territory, if you will.
So there's probably room for other people to come in and say,
Absolutely.
I'm interested in participating. How can I volunteer?
Yep, you're
Oh,
going
I
to come
love it.
right over to the Abingdon Co.
Oh,
and
good.
look at the foundation page, and you can contact us through there.
Oh, I love that. And we'll have all of that information on our
Perfect.
comment
Definitely.
section.
Yeah.
So I love that. Oh my gosh.
So good.
I love it. Well,
I know we could keep going,
We
but
could.
I feel like
How long have we been
is that
talking?
a good
I
little?
don't know. I'd have to be able to
is
see
great.
my watch.
Oh, I got you.
Not wearing not wearing an
It's
Abington
been
watch.
awesome. Yeah, right. She's like, oh.
I'm like,
Okay.
I'm gonna cover that.
It's been awesome having you. How can people find you?
Well, definitely subscribe on YouTube. So Abingdon Co is basically all of the socials, except for Instagram. Just put the word "the" in front of it. So I'll spell it to you like a pilot. Alpha, Bravo, India, November, Golf, Delta, Oscar, November.
There you go.
Copy.
Abingdon. Roger.
Roger. Oh
So
my
good.
God.
We learned. There will be
I still say copy though.
No, I thought you can't say copy that.
know.
No, she can. It's either Roger or Wilco.
Oh, then I screwed it
Copy
up.
does
Yes,
not
you
exist.
did.
Oh, I was really thinking I couldn't say copy that.
In the
and I
in
just
the
said
off-road
copy.
space,
failed
most
with you guys.
people respond with copy.
Yeah.
In the off-road space,
I
it's
know.
which is different than the aviation space, but correctly on the walkie-talkie, yes, Roger. This was a discussion also when we had some great times that day. There was a lot going on.
But yes, Wilco is short for will comply. So I will comply with that instruction. Roger is I understand. So
Roger.
yes, exactly. So
And it's funny because I was the one saying copy and you were like, Roger. You were like totally
You think I would have learned?
so if I say go to abingdonco.com, you would say
Roger.
Wilco.
Oh, Wilco, will comply. Okay, you got that one. Good job.
Oh, I'm not going to slap your hand. I don't want to break you.
Okay. Well, thank
good
you.
try.
Well, did you have the last question? Was there anything else that you would like to share with us? Who did you want to have dinner with? What? Live or dead?
Live or dead? Who would you like to sit and have dinner or a conversation with?
Anyone on the planet? Live or
Anyone.
dead history?
oh my
Now.
gosh, can they be real or fake as
Yeah.
well?
Oh. Okay.
I mean,
Okay,
like,
would
Sure.
we know this fake person?
Sure.
don't
Like
know.
Wonder Woman?
Like
I don't
Darth
know what.
Vader?
Sure. I know.
Santa Claus.
Oh, okay. I mean, he's real. Come on.
He is real.
Yeah, it's all based on parents. We watch you when you're sleeping. I hope I didn't ruin. I hope I didn't ruin it for you.
I said he's real. Come on.
I know, right? Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I did not prepare for that.
I apologize.
No. Let's see here. I would probably, shoot, I mean, Queen of England.
Oh,
Really?
Elizabeth II.
okay.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why?
Well, she was my queen when I was born. I was born in
Okay.
England. Love her or hate her, she was one hell of a queen. You gotta,
Okay.
You gotta say, I mean, of a monarch, like she was just, she did her job. She had her duty and she stuck to it. And she got thrown into that job not wanting it or, knowing that she was going to have it. So she's yeah, I'd want to have dinner with her.
Love it.
I'm going to go
Okay.
one step further on that.
Okay.
What question would you ask her? Since I'm now, because you definitely, yeah. What do you want to know?
Well, which one of my watches was her favorite? So that would be.
Excellent question.
That's perfect.
Excellent question.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You want us to go back to every day I'm hustling?
And then,
Okay.
no, you know what I would ask her? I'd ask her if I could work on a car with her, since she was a mechanic in the war.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah.
yeah.
That is cool.
That's.
Yeah, she was a mechanic in World War II.
That is pretty cool.
I remember hearing that about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You
Well,
got
on
me
that
the history
note,
thing.
yeah,
You know, us Brits, we love our history.
I love it. Thank you so much for being our guest here.
Thank you.
On High Octane Hustle. I'm Fastlane Jane,
And I'm Design Muse, and this is High Octane Hustle, the podcast.
and this is.
Abingdon Mullin.
She said it herself.
And every day she hustling.
And you can find us, check out our website, highoctanehustle.com, and also on Instagram at highoctanehustleofficial. So follow us
Hit subscribe.
and get hustling.